9:26 p.m., August 28, 2023. Hi. This part you gotta see the shuffle and then the alternate. What signs is this for? Sorry. It's for this reading. It's for people who are going through the Ten of Swords. Whether you're no, it's for people who have been put through Ten of Swords. Most of them would probably be, or some are feminine energy based. There's some masculine energy as well. Water and fire signs, earth and air signs. Those are all the signs. All the elements, all the signs. But regarding the energy of betrayal. Okay. If that's not you, this reading is not for you. I'm going to pretend that there are many, 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 many people watching. Okay? Because the Nine of Pentacles in reverse with the Four of Cups upright means to me, and the message I'm being shown, the little movie I'm seeing in my head, is of people who are in relationships that are deep, deep rooted relationships. They could have children, siblings, etc. Deep connections. Still waters go deep. And there's definitely Piscean, Cancerian, Scorpionic energy. There's also Virgoan, Taurian, and Capricornian. But that's besides the point. These people seem to be unaware of the gifts they have been given by Spirit, the Great Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the universe, Source, God, etc. They seem to be overlooking the gifts they once prayed for. Sorry, I'm trying to see like where it's focusing so I can roll to hold the card there for you. I think it's more on here. There you go. Yeah. This feels like a bored housewife, a multi-billionaire who doesn't revere the trees anymore. They just think of them as decorations. There's others who, there must be a lot of people watching this, regardless of what it shows, because this feels like it's a lot of people under an umbrella of discontent. It's like they're causing trouble just because they're bored. You see how she's disturbing the peaceful waters? And there's like children and fairies and elementals trying to get that mermaid's attention, but there's like something distracting that person. This group of people who are in committed relationships. Because this is about not being on your own. This is about being with people, places, things that are massive amounts of resources. There's been a lot of deception that's being brought to light by the sword of truth through the mouths of high priestesses born of the light. It's really funny though, because the dark that's being depicted here isn't the same dark that mankind thinks. Like, yes, that sword is bringing illumination, the truth, and all this stuff. Masks are being taken off. But the environment, the forest, the nature, etc., didn't put the mask on. People put the mask on. And notice how the moon, once the mask is taken off, becomes the high priestess. Energetically, this is a 1, 2, 3 from the universe, from the Most High, to people that are wearing masks and not being grateful for what they have and not appreciating the things they have worked for, and that maybe they've gained it through manipulative, you know, not looking at the cause and effect of what they're doing, but putting on a mask and doing it. It's like something's being seen under a new moon. That was really strange how that looks like a new blue moon eclipse. Look at that. There's another group, another set of energy that's playing some tune with their emotions to lure others in or to get others to make bad decisions. Reason why I say that. Nine of Swords, Temperance. Someone playing a song to lure somebody off the cliff when right behind them is healing. It's like that person's right there, resting, recovering, trying to look, move forward, etc. And they're doing internal work. But then there's people connected to that tree that we had in the other one, that group of people who are luring other people away from their healing. It's like birds on someone's shoulder just pecking at them to distract them from playing the right note. Dive deep in your emotions, really feel what you're feeling, and call it out to the light. Two of Cups. Did you see that? The Queen of Cups fall right back up. There are energies trying to get a Queen of Cups to dance alone when she's meant to dance with someone else. Another energy in this tapestry, another thread, is there are maybe a secret society, maybe a coven, but good witches. Turtles aren't malicious. The star of the sea, you see those stars in the water? Because she's underwater. Star of the sea is what the name Mary means. So it's a very protective energy, like Mother Mary, protecting a tree of life, a tree of union, a tree of two cups. I gotta go soon, so he doesn't like roll over and fall. Again with the King of Pentacles. Okay, all those cards I just pulled out before, the Justice, etc., and then these. It's a loop, an entanglement of interference, but also something that's trying to be woven through the tapestry. So there's people attempting to come together, but they're being sidelined. They're being kind of like pushed aside by something that's not supposed to or wasn't supposed to. That thing that wasn't supposed to did anyway. It wasn't part of God's plan fully. Like, I mean, everything is, but it's kind of like, are they gonna or aren't they gonna? And they did. On another wavelength, an offer or some option, some opportunity that you've been waiting for, depending on where you are on your frequency bandwidth of your emotional intelligence and cognitive functioning capacity. Depending on where you are mentally and emotionally, there has been, whether from you or someone around you, manipulation regarding your love life or someone's love life because of you, wherever you are, whoever you are. There's been manipulation regarding the heart space by people who were doing it with a smile on their face. That manipulation, whether it was at a job, a relationship, a career, whatever, to affect your heart space in some way, so that the decision to go towards the heart's desire doesn't become illuminated within you. Instead, you were put on a search and rescue mission for something that didn't exist. So maybe someone was brought to your life that seemed like the perfect package, but they weren't. See that? This is like the stages of being in a narcissistic relationship with someone. At first, you're like this, and they are like this, and then they get like this, until you see that they were this all along. And then they leave you like this, and they trolley off with what they stole and claim it was theirs all along, and that you were the problem. And then that caused you or someone you know an issue with seeing your own worth, your own beauty, making a decision, being who you truly are, because you were weighed down by other people's truths of you. Could have been a mother figure, could have been a sister, someone you look up to, that's a feminine energy that makes you feel like you're safe. But that all along they were taking info from that white swan, giving it to the black swans, profiting off of it, and keeping the empress away from who they were supposed to be with. While the empress was holding on to Four of Pentacles type of thing and constantly waiting, they were singing that tune. And it's been seen. So depending on where you are, it's time to make things right in the way you think is right. because the energetic weight, the damage, the karma, and the dharma, and the blessings, the nirvana, etc., are reliant on your wavelength. So if you're holding all of that guilt regarding betrayals, then your wavelength is going to be reflecting that back at you through people, places, and experiences. And one of the things Source and I were discussing earlier was betrayal. How sometimes God holds you in their hand like this, but it can feel like you're being held like this. Sometimes God is holding you through this hand, moving you through stuff you can't even realize. And if it was in a cage like this, you'd be terrified. And then when we're in this, we complain about being stuck. But we're not stuck. We're being moved out of situations we're not supposed to be in, around people and places we're not supposed to be in. And we're being moved to where we are supposed to be. So if you're going through that stuff, then put your life in God's hands. Put all your problems in God's hands and listen with your heart, not the archons in your mind that have been corrupting you through other corrupted vessels that have been infected with low vibratory archonic parasites. The thing that feels the worst to do, that's like, to some people, helping others is just like throwing holy water on them. And that's exactly what they need to do. Just others, it's apologizing, and they just can't apologize. It's like pouring salt on a slug. They just melt. So it's like, if you've been experiencing this, if God is with you, who can be against you? Let them raise their sticks so high that plants and trees start growing off of them. Who cares? Elevate yourself above their filth. If you're part of that filth, then elevate yourself above those others. You got to go through that first until you can get to that. And once you want to get to this, you have to go through all the swords, all the waters, all the earth before you can get to the wands. People don't realize that. Maybe we can talk about the card suits at some point. People have a big misconception about the elements. People have a big misconception about scripture. People have a massive misconception about manifestation and teamwork. People also have a very high distorted view of morality. It's like one of those things that are I see them pop up on my YouTube once in a while. The YouTube shorts with like LGBTQ transgender stuff where they're like, why should we care about your pronouns? I was watching one of them, like it was a big old thing, like people were having like a big discussion, hour-long video. And I was thinking, I don't really give a fuck what people refer to me as. I don't care. I don't even gender myself right because I don't have one gender. Reproductively, I would take the part of the male. Everything else is female. Am I going to go change my driver's license to female? No. Am I going to change my name? Maybe. I mean, for numerology value and stuff, sure. But am I going to care if somebody cares? Like, if I'm having to go to the men's bathroom? I don't care. If they're like, yo, go to the girls' bathroom. I'm going to feel uncomfortable going to any public bathroom. So, no thank you to either one. There has to be a point where individually people are so okay, at least, with themselves, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. They were also talking about how there are laws in place to protect women. And I was thinking, well, there aren't any to protect men in that way. Are there any laws for someone like me? I think the old term was hermaphrodite. So I don't even fall into the category of LGBTQ. I'm like way off in the distance somewhere, and people aren't even talking about this. So what do I put on my driver's license? And how would I even get you to respect any pronouns whatsoever? And then I'm supposed to be bothered by it? Get out of here. And then the other thing was like gay, bisexual, etc. I'm like, everyone's a little gay. Everybody. Everybody. It's written in the genetics. Like it's just a human being is bisexual. Denying that within yourself biologically, like denying the fact that a snake is, can self reproduce or whatever it's called. Like that's dumb. Snakes do that. Snakes also tend to eat their own tails when they're stressed out. It looks like the Ouroboros. You're pretty much bisexual. Human form is designed that way. Like, do you science? I don't. I have no degrees. I have no, professional, clinical, any certifications. But from what I've looked at and what I know intuitively and what God tells me, the human vessel is genetically, cellularly, physiologically, biologically designed to be androgynous and bisexual with varying reproductive characteristics and physical features such as facial hair, larger breast tissue, curvature or non-curvature, square, triangle, shape, hair shape, etc. It's all geometry. It's all math. The human body has to be mutable in order for the genetics to function. Everyone is technically bisexual. Everyone is a little female and a little male. The only differentiating part that triggers those characteristics is one chromosome being activated or deactivated, which can be done through food a mother eats when she's pregnant. It can be messed with. So if you guys want to argue globally about LGBTQ, transgender, etc., then we need to rethink the entire slate and look at the human being. Your reproductive organs can be varied on the form. I'm physically the height, weight, shape, skeletal structure of a genetic female, but I have male reproductive organs. Which law do I fall under? What am I supposed to do? When you're in these situations in life, whether something that's just about your gender expression or your entire social group or your secret society bullshit or your twin flame list or relationships with your parents or neighbors, whatever it is, bring it back to the basics of who you are and what your emotions are responding to. Become aware that there are things that your brain can pick up that are not your own, and they can influence you to do things you don't want to do, which is why you probably feel bad. Once that can be acknowledged across civilization, that things can influence your choices that aren't from you. And sometimes those things pretend to be of the light. When you can acknowledge that and work a legal system around that, and then recognize that the human form, the humanoid form, whether humanoid or reptilian or anything else, is mutable. It's supposed to be fluid. That way, evolution and nature can take its course with source consciousness expanding and evolving and growing and providing a sense of uniqueness across the tapestry of life everywhere in the cosmos. When one point of reality is pinched off because of other people and their infected minds, the entire tapestry cannot grow because it feels like there's something holding on and just pulling the growth of the universe back. In a primitive mindset, it doesn't matter if it's male or female, it's about reproductive organs and each individual person. So I can't be eligible for female woman laws. Let's say I go to a gender restricted rehab, right? For like watching too many card readings. Would I go to a male one or a female one? If I go to a male one, how much Ten of Swords am I going to experience? If I go to a female one, how much Ten of Swords would I experience? Massive amounts. Now, how can you or I or a village treat each other with respect when we're all different but make laws that apply to everybody the same way? It's it's strange. There has to be a moral code, moral code. There has to be a foundation of honor and respect among living beings. Then we can decide what's what. But if we can't even get past reproductive organs to have a civilized discussion, even with cat ears on my head, we got to go back to square one. This example applies to every relationship in our lives. If I go to my neighbor and he perceives me as a female, he's probably going to feel romantic towards me in some way when I don't have any interest in that. But if he perceives me as a male, he's probably going to think I'm really sissy and prissy and, you know, etc. This is how the Ten of Swords is formed fully, through the disrespect of each individual life form. This entire reading is being redone with me just talking to you like this. Can you comprehend it? If you can't, it probably sounds like word salad to you. It's okay. Come back to it later. Just please elevate your awareness of the expressions of God and Source in flesh, even the quantum field in its infiniteness and how it creates cellular structure and a pattern, or how genetics are manipulated by scientists. There's a pattern to it, right? That pattern cannot continue when there's a broken part in it that constantly says we can pick out one or two or three of these and it'll still function fine without it. It won't. The human race, the future of civilization, cannot function properly if we can't get past reproductive organs and stabbing each other in the back. It's like the world needs a spray of cold water to the face for them to go, whoa. So overall, with everything we've talked about in this review, what is your advice? What are the steps you can take moving forward? Work together. To build a new ceiling, a new firmament, to build to get closer to God, like a staircase, hold each other up to the light, get out from those towers and work together on a new foundation that helps everybody. If you can manipulate that to cause harm, you can manipulate that to free those people who have been in that. Get it? If you're a Scorpio, your entire job, the Scorpio sun, is to take that poison, that thread, and free that in humanity. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Vedic astrology and the Nakshatras. Okay? It's time to honor the contracts and vows each soul has made with God. We didn't come here to violate each other. We didn't come here to destroy each other. We came here to battle the demons within our own beings. And when each other's demons are attacking each other, and when we're influencing each other to attack each other, no. If you're partaking in the Ten of Swords, if you're holding one of those swords, it's time to put it down and go to God. If you've been affected by those swords, it's time to stop bleeding yourself into a puddle of drowning sorrow. Get up, clean up, wash your face, drink some water, do some exercises, eat something that wasn't breathing and had a mother, and check your circle of friends, because if they stabbed you in the back once, they have every arm to do it again, don't they? It's time to look at yourselves and recognize who you're hanging around, who it is you're judging, and who it is you're labeling. and then listen and follow that voice back to who you are and what that makes you when you speak these things about innocent people, women, children, fathers, whatever it is in the world. There's 8 billion people, and there's more chosen and stalked people than just, okay? I cannot tolerate those words anymore nearly as much as I can't tolerate twin flames. Like, if I see that word one more time on like my YouTube screen, I seriously might get a water bottle and just spray those flames out. When I was younger, I would have told you that I would take that pain away if I could. Now that I've been here on and off for a few decades, I can tell you I am grateful you have that pain, because once you're brave enough and strong enough and wise enough and kind enough to look at that pain, to feel it, you're going to be so happy. And I'm grateful for that day, for that moment in time, whether anyone's there to see you or not. That moment in time where you acknowledge what you are and choose to be better, where you acknowledge what you've been through or what you've done and choose to do better. I know you can do it. You just have to become braver and more knowing within yourself of your own reality than what this tells you your reality is. So I'm going to go now. It's 42, 43 minutes. Um, I hope you have a wonderful night or morning wherever you are watching this. Thanks for spending time with the, to you, the current version of me, to me, a past version, and for the current me, it's a parallel version. So technically, by the time you're watching this, I'm in 3 places at once, in addition to my current time version doing what it's doing after I close this video. Which one of those versions of you are you stuck in? Don't do things your children will be embarrassed and need therapy for when they grow up and realize what you were doing and teaching them. Your son, your daughter, your in between, someday will grow up and will be wise and intelligent and will look back at the way you raised them as either a blessing or a curse that they have to break. It's up to you how you raise them. Are you raising them with your ego, or are you raising them to heal egos and back into angels? Be a better parent and a better example of what your parents taught you the best they could. Because if you have problems with your parents and you have children now, just think of the trauma you've induced in your children by partaking in Ten of Swords, whether through you or from you. They've probably seen you cry, they've seen you yell, they've seen you stomp, they've seen you fiddle on your phone, they've seen you run off into corners doing what you're doing. They've seen you in front of your altars, they've seen you cussing and cursing. Those are all memories of their mother and their father that you helped them form. They've seen you be picked on, they've seen you pick on others. When have they seen you happy? Go be a better sibling. Go be a better lover. Go be a better parent or grandparent. There's a reason grandparents are called grand, not mediocre, not gang gang, not bam bam, but grand, matriarchs, patriarchs. When the scales of justice ring with the sound of truth, do not be deafened. And when your name is called by lions from the desert or angels in the sky or beasts from the deep, make sure you do honor to your name. I just realized there are some people whose names mean terrible things. I used to know somebody whose name meant seething pool. Literally, the Irish translation of his name is seething pool. So what's someone like that supposed to do? Change your name? Behave better? Do better? Oh, right, the same advice I've been giving you. Honor yourself. You can be seething with anger, or you can be seething with mischief and joy. It's up to you.